Dearest gentle listener, once upon a time, in the heart of Lagos, a woman named Adora laid in bed for a night of pleasure with her one true love. But as she reached down and grabbed the joystick, she asked in shock, "Is this it? Why is it so small?" And then she rolled over in disappointment. This was how it all started. Her name was Adora. Adora was one of those women you couldn't help but notice. She was tall, smooth skinned like roasted cashew, with full lips and a curvy figure that could silence a whole room. She had style, she had class, but what made her shine even brighter was her mind. She worked in a rising marketing firm on the island and was known as the woman who could turn even pepper soup into premium branding. Now, Adora, for all her confidence and sharp edges, had one soft spot: love. Yes, love. That mushy thing that people pretend doesn't matter in Lagos until they find themselves crying to Adele someone like you at 2 a.m. She had dated here and there, but something was always missing. Either the men were too broke, too arrogant, too unserious, or too emotionally unavailable until Chinedu. Yes, she met Chinedu on a Wednesday evening during a friend's housewarming in Yaba. It was supposed to be a boring small chops kind of gathering, but when she walked into the living room with a glass of Chapman, there he was, sitting by the window, reading things fall apart like it was a love letter. He looked up and smiled. Not a flirtatious smile, not a Lagos boy smile, just warm, honest. They talked that night about books, about how Lagos used to smell like rain before the gutters started fighting back, about how both of them missed Suya from Joss. Hours passed like seconds. And gentle listener, for the first time in a long time, Adora felt seen, not just admired, seen. Chinedu was different. He didn't drive a flashy car, just a neat, dusty blue Toyota Corolla that hummed more than it roared. He worked as a software developer, calm, observant, with a dry sense of humor that caught you off guard. He wasn't loud. He wasn't chasing 10 girls. He didn't play mind games. And for 3 months, they dated like two people who knew they had found something precious. He wrote her notes. She cooked him egusi. They took long walks at JJT Park and danced awkwardly in her living room to Asha and Simi on Sundays. Gentle listener, it was sweet. It was real. It was almost enough. But then came the moment of truth. On a quiet evening, Adora invited Chinedu over for dinner. She had been thinking, maybe this is it. Maybe this man, this quiet, tender man, is a person. They laughed over pounded yam. He helped her wash plates, and later, one thing led to another, as it often does when two hearts have been waiting long enough. But when things got intimate, when clothes came off, and reality stepped in, that was when the smile on Adora's face began to fade. She paused, confused. Was it nerves? No. Was it stress? No. She reached down and grabbed it with her hands, just to be sure her mind wasn't messing with her. It was size. "Is this it?" she asked. Chinedu looked at her confused and innocently asked, "What is that, babe? Am I not doing something correctly?" She quickly covered up, realizing he hadn't realized what her question was about. "It's nothing, continue," she said, and faked the rest throughout the workout session. But Chinedu, gentle and tender as he was, didn't meet her physical expectation, not even close. Adora said nothing at first, but in her mind, the question started screaming louder than Lagos Danfos during rush hours. How do I live with this? Can I manage? Will I cheat? Will I always feel unsatisfied? Afterward, they laid silently in bed, Chinedu holding her like something sacred, pressing soft kisses into her forehead and whispering sweet, reassuring words into her ears. But she wasn't present anymore. Her mind was already arguing with her heart. 2 days later, she sat across from him at a cafe in Ikoyi, stirring his smoothie without sipping. I think we need to talk, she said, her voice soft. Chinedu nodded, already sensing it. She fumbled with her bracelet. You are amazing, honestly. But I don't think we're compatible. He blinked. Because of? She looked down. I just don't think I'll be happy long term. I know it sounds shallow, but I've tried to convince myself and I can't. There was a pause. A deep one. Chinedu breathed, then nodded slowly. Okay. No fighting. No begging. Just a quiet heartbreak that sat in his eyes. I wish you peace, he said. And I hope you find what you're looking for. And just like that, the man who gave her peace, the man who saw her soul, walked away into a world that hadn't learned to value quiet good men with kind hearts. That night, Adora lay in bed, alone. Her phone buzzed with messages from friends and admirers. She stared at the screen and thought of Chinedu. She didn't cry, not yet, but something in her chest didn't sit right. After Chinedu walked out of her life with dignity, Adora felt strangely free. She told herself she had dodged a bullet, that she had almost settled for less, that she had done the mature thing by walking away before cheating would have become inevitable. Her friends didn't make it any easier. Babes, I beg, you deserve better gbola. BC said one Friday night, without mincing words, as they prepped for a girls' hangout at a rooftop bar in VI. You be big woman. No be now you go dey manage small small things. You have outgrown small small things. Onto the big things, my friend. A man can be kind and still not be the one if his kindness doesn't extend to the bedroom. Lara chimed in, applying lip gloss like her life depended on it. Sexual compatibility matters, oh. Now waiting scatter many marriages be that. They toasted to new beginnings with strawberry margaritas, and Adora, she threw her head back and laughed. But somewhere deep in her laughter was the silence of doubt and uncertainty. It didn't take long for Lagos to offer her an alternative. His name was Klay. He was the kind of man you would typically call a Yoruba demon. CEO of some high-flying real estate firm in Lekki Phase 1. Dark chocolate skin. Tattoos speaking from his short-sleeved native. The kind of smile that made waitresses stammer and slip him their numbers. The kind of steeze and composure that made bouncers step aside and ask, Chief, anything for your boy? They met at a birthday sorry for a popular influencer, an event filled with fake lashes, louder than Dow perfumes, and glasses of champagne poured more for display than drink. Conley didn't waste time. Good gracious God, I have seen beauty, but yours is a discovery. You fine die, he said, boldly, cornering her by the balcony. You are the kind of woman a man should lock down before another sharp guy chances him. Adora laughed shyly, flattered. It wasn't poetry, but it was attention. Within 1 week, they were texting every hour. Within two, he had sent her a new iPhone, just because. On the third weekend, he flew her to Abuja for a weekend to relax small. And oh, gentle listener, Kunle was everything Chinedu wasn't, especially down there. He was bold, wild, experimental, the kind of man who made Adora feel like she was in the music video every time they were together. In bed, he was thunder and storm. He knew how to touch her body and make her feel spectacular things, like he had studied a manual written just for her. There was no small in his bedtime stories. He came correct, or didn't come at all. Adora, she was lost in it. But lust, like smoke, cannot feed the soul. At first, it felt like she had finally found what she had been looking for. But gentle listener, the heart knows what the body hides. Within weeks, cracks began to form. Not loud, but steady. Kunle was hot, but cold. Sweet, then sour. generous but restrained, a walking emotional roller coaster, or in simpler terms, a red flag. One evening, after she posted a modest picture of herself in a jumpsuit, he called her. His voice hard like cement. Are you okay? Why are you posting this? You weren't meant to be looking at you anyhow? Adora blinked. It's just a normal delete it. You're not single anymore. Behave like it. She deleted it. A few days later, he told her to cancel her plans with her girls. Kunle, it's Lara's birthday, she said. I said cancel it. Or is it only me that will be sacrificing for this relationship? And again, she cancelled. He started controlling how she dressed, when she could go out, and who she could talk to, all in the name of love. But it felt more like prison wrapped in perfume. Yet, whenever she raised it, he would hush her with gifts. A Gucci purse today, 100K for nails and wig tomorrow, and a new wig shifting makeup smugging style in the bedroom. But nothing truly filled the hollow growing inside her. She missed being asked how her day went. She missed slow, intentional kisses, hugs that felt truer than a quick access to her body. She missed peace. One evening, while waiting for an Uber after work, Adora stepped into a quiet lounge to order dinner and recharge her phone. The place was dim, cozy, and smelled like vanilla scented wood. She was scrolling through her phone when a familiar voice reached her ear. Still addicted to Chapman? She turned. It was Chinedu. He looked different. Not richer, not flashier, but fuller, like someone who had been watered with love and had bloomed. With him was a lady, slim, softly dressed, glowing like she drank sunlight. They looked comfortable, happy, effortlessly in sync. It was a sight to behold. Adora managed a small smile. Hey, Chinedu smiled warmly. How have you been? Before she could answer, the woman beside him gently leaned toward him and whispered, Babe, I'll be in the car. I'll let you two catch up. She left with a quiet grace that Adora couldn't help but admire. So, Chinedu said, I heard you've been doing well. Congratulations on the promotion. She blinked. You still keep tabs? He nodded. Once in a while. I'm happy for you. And with a sincere smile and a simple goodbye, he left her standing there, alone, holding her half charged phone and a mountain of regrets. That night, in her plush apartment, surrounded by gifts that didn't feel like love, Adora scrolled through her gallery and paused at an old photo. It was her and Chinedu in simple clothes, laughing with soup stained mouths in her kitchen. And for the first time, she wept. Dearest gentle listener, they say when you lie on a bed of roses, you must not forget roses have thorns. And Adora, she had buried herself in roses, forgetting that sometimes it's not the sharp pain that kills you, it's the slow, sweet suffocation. Everything looked perfect with Kunle. From the outside, Adora's life looked like the dream every Lagos babe prayed for at midnight. She posted pictures in Dubai, captioned them "Sup life or nothing." Dined in restaurants where the prices had no commas, just digits you dare not question. Kunle's name opened doors, not just literally, but socially. Being Kunle's babe made her someone in certain circles. People started treating her differently, with envy, with respect, with coded side eyes. But gentle listener, let me tell you something real. Comfort is not the same as happiness. Adora found herself constantly tired. Not the kind that sleep cures, but the kind that lives in your spirit. At first, it seemed like Kunle was just protective. Don't wear that skirt, it's too tight. Why are you laughing with that waiter like that? I told you not to follow your friends to that party. Are you deaf? But slowly, his care turned into control and then into cruelty. One Saturday morning, Adora woke up to find her Instagram disabled. She panicked, called Kunle. Calm down, he said, casually over the phone. I told my guy to help you take a break. You are always online. It's unhealthy. Her mouth went dry. Kunle, you hacked my Instagram? It's not hacking if it's for your own good. She wanted to scream. But who would she scream to? The same friends who hyped her up when he bought her a Range Rover? The ones who envied her soft life? So she kept quiet. But what came next was loud. It came on a rainy Tuesday. They had argued. She had told him she didn't like how he spoke to her in front of his friends. You embarrassed me, she had said, her voice shaking but firm. He turned, eyes hard. You call what I did embarrassing? So you've grown wings now? He landed her an unexpected heavy slap. She didn't see it coming. She felt the sting on her cheek. The whole room stood still. Even the rain outside seemed to pause. Then he said, You made me do that. And that was when Adora's eyes opened. She had entered a cage she had once called a castle. That night, as she sat alone in the guest room, the only place in the house where she still felt human, her phone rang. It was her mother. My daughter, how are you? You don't call anymore. Adora swallowed a lump. I've been busy. You are always busy. Are you happy? She hesitated. Her mother continued, Happiness is not money, Ada. If it was, the richest people would never cry. Tears rolled down Adora's face. She wanted to say, Mama, I'm not happy. But shame wouldn't let her. She ended the call and cried herself to sleep. Meanwhile, Chinedu was gloaming back in the mainland. Chinedu and Ifunaya, the quiet woman Adora had seen him with, were building something real. She was no fashionista. She didn't have 40k wigs or perfect lashes. She didn't have a Range Rover, but she had kindness, patience, peace. She helped him set up a small tech hub for underprivileged students. They spent Sundays cooking together, dancing to old school Niger hits in their kitchen. Sometimes Chinedu would pause and smile. I almost missed this, he would whisper. He never spoke badly about Adora, but deep in his heart, he knew if someone can't love you at your small beginnings, they don't deserve you at your biggest. Meanwhile, after the slap, Adora became quiet. She stopped arguing. She stopped dressing how she liked. She shrunk beautifully, stylishly, silently. But the fire hadn't died. It was just hidden. One day, while Kunle was away on a business trip, she packed a small bag. Just clothes, just essentials. She left the designer bags and phones, left the Range Rover he bought, left the illusion, and she fled to a friend's place in Yaba. She looked out the window that night, holding a chilled bowl of soaked gari, the kind Chinedu used to love. It was cheap, it was humble, but for the first time in months, it felt like peace. And she whispered to herself, I chose wrong. Who knows if Chinedu could still consider taking me back again? I would do anything for his small joystick at this point. In fact, I would worship it, she thought out loud, but quickly dismissed the thoughts as soon as it registered in her mind. Adora stayed at a friend's place in Yaba for 3 weeks. No maid to make her hair in bed. No chef to fry her eggs in avocado oil. Just her and reality, face to face. And still, even as she told herself she had escaped, her heart kept floating back to one person, Chinedu. Then, one hot Wednesday afternoon, she picked up her phone and dialed. It rang once, twice, then his voice, warm, familiar, unshaken. Hello? She froze, took a deep breath. Hi, Chinedu, it's me, Adora. Silence. Then, what do you want? His tone wasn't cruel, but it wasn't warm either. It was guarded. I just wanted to talk, maybe see you. She heard the hesitation in his breath. Adora, I don't think that is a good idea. Her heart dropped. Please, just once. I want to explain. After a long pause, he sighed. Tomorrow, 4 p.m., Freedom Park, 1 hour. She smiled, the kind of smile that hoped this would be her second chance. Adora arrived early, sat on a bench under a mango tree. She wore the same soft pink blouse he once said brought out her eyes. Then he came. Same calm walk, Same scent of citrus and wood, but this time his aura had changed. Hi, she said, standing quickly. Hi. He nodded, not hugging her. They sat. For a moment, neither spoke. Then she began. Chinedu, I made a mistake. I was blind. You were good to me. Real. And I threw that away for glitter. I didn't know it would cut so deep. He listened. She continued, her voice shaking. I thought you were too simple. I wanted more. But you were more. You were peace. And now I want a chance to. He stopped her gently. Adora. She looked up, tears already threatening. I forgive you, but I've moved on. I'm not the man that I was when you left. And I'm happy now. Tears spilled from her eyes. He stood. Be well, Adora. May you find peace. And with that, he walked away. She sat there, frozen, because for the first time, she realized some mistakes don't come with a second chance. A week later, Adora returned to Kunle. Yes, you heard right. She crawled back with fake laughter and apologies like icing over a burnt cake. And Kunle, he took her back, but the house didn't feel the same. He didn't kiss her forehead like before. He didn't call her baby. He didn't make her legs shake in the other room. He didn't take her anywhere. Then, one evening, as they were eating dinner quietly, Kunle dropped his fork and looked up. So, you went back to see your ex. Her blood froze. What are you talking about? He laughed. Not a joyful laugh, a dangerous one. You think Lagos is big? Word gets around. My guy saw you at Freedom Park with him. And I checked your Uber history. Do you think I'm a fool? She opened her mouth, then closed it. There was nothing to say. He stood up, walked around the table, looked her dead in the eye. I gave you everything, and you ran back to beg a man you dumped because of me? You desire that low life after everything I've done for you? She began to plead, but he raised his hand, not to heat, but to silence. Get out. Her heart dropped. Kunle, please, don't do this. I said, get out. No yelling, no drama, just cold finality. That night, she left that mansion with one bag and no dignity. She sat alone in a small hotel room in Surulere. The walls were yellowed. The fan squeaked. The charging point didn't work. Her phone battery was at 4%. She stared at her reflection in the cracked mirror. No filtered confidence. Just a woman who had everything and lost it chasing more. She whispered, barely audible over the noise of her regrets. If only I had known. The end. Dearest gentle bestie, what lesson did you learn from this story? Tell me in the comment section. I am eagerly waiting. And if you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to subscribe for more feel good and morally rich stories like this. And share this story with someone to enjoy as well. See you on the next story. Bye.